The average interest rate on a savings account is 0.05%. That is 5% of a single percent. It's pathetic. It's a bank account holding your money and giving you nothing in return. The reality is, so long as the Federal Reserve Bank keeps interest rates low, the banks are able to borrow money for essentially nothing. This means banks have no reason to incentivize savings accounts with high interest rates. So, what do you do with the money you intend to save? The answer is simple: invest it. The S&P 500 is a stable investment index fund that has an average annual return of 8% since 1957. You can place your money into a savings account and earn $5 for every $1,000 you have saved, or you can earn 80. The choice is yours, but being smarter with your money is the key to remaining in the black. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of In the Black. I'm Troy, and today we're talking about why savings are for suckers. Now, we're not telling you not to save any money. It's actually quite the contrary. You should save as much of your disposable income as you can. The question today is, what are you actually going to do with that money? I used to pile my own money up in a savings account for years for emergencies, and I earned a very minimal return for that. The average savings account only gives you 0.05% interest, and that's even including many of these so-called high yield savings. The reality is, even the high yield savings fail to crack even half of an actual percent. That's nothing. They're taking your money and giving you nothing in return. I know far too many people with thousands of dollars sitting in a savings account barely earning any interests. With these fractions of a percent, you kneecap even the most powerful financial forces such as compound interest, which we've talked about in the previous video. Instead, the question is, what are you going to do with your savings? And that is, invest them. I'm not telling you to not have savings or an emergency fund on hand, but what I am saying is that the overwhelming majority of your savings should be invested in the market. The amount of money that you keep on hand in your spending account will vary based on your understanding and vary based on how comfortable you are to understanding the risks of the market. But for me personally, I keep about one paycheck's worth of money on hand at any given time. The rest of my savings live in my brokerage account, and most of them are invested in the market according to my own personal strategies. In today's day and age, it's never been easier before than to access your money that's in a brokerage account. Many brokerages offer spending cards, debit cards that you can swipe and spend on any given emergency. And ultimately, it takes one trading day, if your money's tied up in an investment, to sell a share and get the money that you need out of that. With cryptocurrencies, it's instant. All you have to do is log into your account, sell, get your money, and spend it depending on whose account that you use. It took me personally far too long to understand investing and understand just what I was missing out on with my savings account money. Since then, I've learned to use my savings to invest to generate returns that I never could have seen in a million years at standard savings account interest rates. By placing the majority of my savings in my brokerage account, I can invest in mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks, and even cryptocurrencies with many of them these days. All of my investments over the past year have earned me a significant return, far more than I would have earned with any savings account. I can tell you that personally, over the last year, especially with what the market has done, even in a global pandemic, I've earned 100 times the amount of money I would have earned with traditional savings account interests in any lifetime. Investing your money does come with risk, and we're not here to understate that risk whatsoever. If you invest money, you ultimately can lose it. We are not professionals, but what we are here is to give you a better understanding of the possibilities of what you can do with your money. Me personally, as I just said, I'm making way more money investing my money than I am in putting it in a savings account and letting it sit there. We encourage you to make your money work for you. We hear that phrase so many times that the question is, what does it mean? Well, I can tell you that the rich and the wealthy do not simply put their money to collect dust or collect less than 1% interest in a savings account. They buy properties and they invest in stock, bonds, individual companies, ETFs, mutual funds, hedge funds, cryptocurrency, and things that earn them far greater returns for their money than any savings account ever would. Every single night, We hear on the news the S&P 500 is up, the Dow Jones is up, but what do these things mean for the average American? The average American is not investing their money in the stock market. As a result, they're missing out on the greatest wealth generator in the world. Jeff Bezos is not getting checks in profits cut from him from Amazon. Jeff Bezos owns the shares of the company he founded, and that's what gets him billions and billions of dollars, making money even in a global pandemic. Owning shares of stock and owning real estate and any other investment vehicle is the number one wealth generation tool. So when you have your savings, you have to ask yourself, what do you want to do with your money? Do you want it truly to work for you? Then you've got to put it to work in the market. With the proper investment strategy and risk mitigation matching your financial needs, you can realize returns that you may have never thought before possible. Even with a worldwide global pandemic ravaging the stock market in the year 2020, from beginning to end, the S&P 500 alone returned 16% to those who invested in it. So that means if you put your money in January, watch the stock market collapse right in front of your eyes, but didn't panic, let your money stay, and continue all the way out through the end of the new year, you'd have earned 16% on your money. If you were lucky enough to buy once the market dipped, the market hit rock bottom around March 23rd of last year. And if you invested then and rode it all the way to the end of the year, you would have returned 68% to your investment in the S&P 500. That's an amazing return. As I said in the beginning, since 1957, the average annual rate of return for the S&P 500 is 8%. Last year it was 16%. So those averages will vary. But the key is, if you're going to save money and let it grow for an indefinite amount of time, you should have it invested in the market. And it doesn't just have to be the S&P 500. You can pick companies you believe in. There are stable companies that return dividends that will compound your interest over time with those dividends to grow and give you greater rate of returns than any savings account ever will. Financial education and empowerment is our goal. So have a look at our other videos that we've done, see what we've talked about with compound interest and it's breaking down the stock market and breaking down mutual funds and investment funds, and understand why these are excellent vehicles for wealth generation. Once you understand the facts, you'll realize exactly why savings are for suckers.
Thanks, Troy, for all that insightful information about why savers are actually losers. It's very important that you find a way to stash some money away and put it into some kind of investment. You have to figure out how to make your money work for you. It should be working for you while you sleep, working for you while you're at work, working for you 24/7. If your money is just sitting in a regular account, it's literally doing you no favors. Actually, is losing value over time because of the rate of inflation. So your money is becoming a little bit more worthless just sitting there in a regular bank account. So it's important that you find a way you set aside your little bit of money that's going to be your emergency fund, for things like medical bills, your car breaks down, you need to get that fixed, things that might happen in your household. But outside of that emergency fund that you'll set up and you'll figure what's right for you for that amount, that other money needs to go into investments, particularly maybe the stock market. Maybe you want to do a rate like a fund rise or something like that. But somehow, some way, you need to make sure that your money is off the sidelines and into the game to bring you back some kind of return. This is very important, guys. A lot of people just have money sitting around and it's not doing them anything. And we really wanted to talk to you today about getting that money into the game and starting that snowball of wealth where it starts off small, but it builds up bigger over time. So we just want to make sure that you find ways to, get this money. Maybe you're saying I have a tight budget. You can sit down and analyze your budget, see where there's any places you can do some savings. Maybe share, streaming accounts or something, service accounts, or something like that. And, you cut a bill there, you cut a bill there, and then you might have a little bit, and that'll be your starting point. Maybe you pick up a side hustle. Maybe you go and you do, like Shift or something, or Uber, where you can, work when you have some free time and start getting that seed money for your investment fund. But something you got to find a way to get the ball rolling. So it's really important that one, if you have money on the sidelines, you get into the games, and two, if you don't have that free cash, start thinking about ways to either save money or earn a little extra money that you can use that seed money to start your investment fund. And you'll be surprised you'll look at this investment fund 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road and be like, wow, it'll really shock you. You'll really be surprised how much it can really grow and how can this really set you on a path for financial freedom. And that's one of the key things we want for everybody in the Black. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Really blessed to have you tuning in. We're going to start putting out a little bit more content, more regularly, this type of content. We've been doing a lot of live streams for the GameStop and AMC and everything that's going crazy in the market with Robinhood and things like that. So we've been doing a lot of live streams about that, but we're also going to put out this type of content as well to help a lot of the newbie investors getting into the game, figuring out where do you go from ground zero. So remember to hit that like button down there. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. That really helps out the channel. Make sure you subscribe to get notified of all our latest videos. And if you want to hit that notification bell, it'll alert you when we have a new video or a live stream coming. So we really appreciate the love, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed day.